Do values like love, religiousness, authenticity, happiness change as human consciousness grows upwards?
The movement of human consciousness from darkness to light, from unconsciousness to consciousness, is the greatest revolution there is. And everything in human life changes even with a slight movement in consciousness. All depends where your consciousness is. But this is something which has never been explored. If you look into the dictionaries, you will not find 3 meanings of love. There should be. You will not find 3 meanings of religiousness. There should be. You will not find 3 meanings of happiness either. There should be. Let us move step by step. Love for the person who lives into the darkness of his instincts is not even worth calling love. It is simply sex, a strategy of nature to go on reproducing itself. You are being used as means. That is the ugliest part in it. You are not the master of it. You are in the hands of biology. And whatever you are doing, it is not your doing either. You are forced by your instinctive nature to do it. There is no option. It is not your choice. You cannot choose as far as instincts are concerned. Their grip on you is absolute. You are simply a prisoner. But you go on befooling yourself. You think it is something that you are doing. It is something that is being done through you. There is a story in India. In Jagannath Puri, one of the sacred places of Hindus, Jagannath means the Lord of the world. And the temple in Jagannath Puri is the temple of the Lord of the world. Because of the temple, the city has grown around it. And because of the temple, the whole city is called Jagannath Puri. Every year there is a great festival. Millions of people gather. The statue from the temple is taken into a chariot for people to see it. It goes around those millions who have gathered. The chariot is being carried by beautiful horses, 12 of the same color, pure white, the color of the Lord of the world. The chariot is golden, of immense value. Once it happened, that's how the story goes, that a dog started walking in front of the chariot, in front of the horses. Now, where millions of people are there, who is going to bother about a dog who is walking in front of the chariot? And people are falling on the ground, prostrating to give respect to the Lord of the world. And the dog thinks, this is great. I have so many followers. I had no idea before. Such a multitude of disciples. I must be some great master. Obviously, the logic is simple. The disciples are there. Everybody is prostrating to him. He is not aware of the Lord of the world who is behind. Even if he tries, he cannot see because it is high on the chariot. Then there are 12 horses. It is not possible for the dog to find out to whom. And they are almost touching his feet. And when somebody is respected by millions of people in this way, the very idea to think that this respect is being given to somebody else who is behind is impossible to happen. It is against the ego. And the evidence is so clear anybody can see. This is the situation of man as far as biology is concerned. The chariot of biology behind you, carrying the Lord of nature, and you think everything is being done by you. Just a little alertness is needed, and you will be able to see that it is nothing to do with you. Nature wants to fulfill itself. You are being as means. The antagonism of religions against sex is 99% stupid, but 1% truth is there, which I cannot deny. But I have never told about that 1% truth to you. Because there is danger that 1% truth may deceive you, and you will forget the 99% which is untrue. So I have been hammering on the 99%, but to make my picture complete, these are my last touches to the picture, so I cannot leave anything. 1% is significant. In fact, because of that 1%, all religions became anti-sex. And that is that sex makes man a fool, gives him the idea as if he is the master of it, while he is only a slave. And the slavery has to be broken. He has to be pulled out of this ditch. But if he thinks that that ditch is a palace, then you cannot pull him out. You cannot even persuade him to come out of it. Hence the condemnation of all the religions of sex. But they overdid it. And they forgot the 99% dangers just for 1%, which could have been done very easily without taking the risk of 99% falsehood. But they saw the danger of man being simply a means, and that is the lowliest position possible. You are just a means, not an end. That you are being used by some unknown force of which you have no idea. And you go on thinking in your mind that all these prostrating people are prostrating to you. The man living on the instinctive level only has a hallucination of love. That hallucination is created by nature, biology, chemistry. You have in your body drugs which are released when you are making love. And you start moving into an euphoria. That is one of the reasons why people who become addicted to drugs is slowly become uninterested in sex. The hippies and ippies and all kinds of people, when they became too much interested into drugs, lost their fervor for sex completely. Because now they have found a better way of getting into an euphoric state. Now sex seems to be nothing compared to it. That can give you a clue that both are drugs. Nature has been using that drug in a very minute quantity. There was no need up to now. Perhaps nature will have to think again. Find out better drugs, create better chemistry, bring its label up to date. It is lagging far behind. Man's mind has created things like LSD, far superior, so superior that a man like Aldous Huxley thought that LSD gives you samadhi. It is actually what Kabir and Buddha and Rumi and all the mystics of the world have been talking about. But they had bullock cart methods to reach to this state. Now science has given us far advanced drugs. There is no need for yoga and tantra and all other things. You just take an injection. You yourself push the injection. There is no need for somebody else to do it. And for hours you are in an euphoric state, which is certainly superior to what you call orgasm, because it is so momentary. That it only creates more desire for it, never gives you any satisfaction. second symptom that it is a drug is its addiction. People become addicted to sex. And a very strange thing about addiction is, if you have it, there is nothing. If you don't have it, you are missing. You never think what you are missing, because when you have it, there is nothing. Each time you have it, you feel that it is just a futile effort. Nothing comes out of it. You don't move a single inch in evolution. You just jump for a moment in the air, and with a thump you fall back on the ground. That's why people don't like to make love publicly. There is no other reason. The reason is nobody wants to look so foolish. Now, in California, which is the most advanced, stupid place in the whole world, they have hotels for peeping toms. You have to pay for it. Two fools inside are making love, and many around the room are sitting, looking and enjoying what they are enjoying. They are enjoying that, how they are making themselves fools. People pay for it. Those two people are not aware of it. They have also paid. One man first day was inside the room, but coming out he found many people really hilarious. He asked them, what is the matter? They said, the show was so good. Which show, he asked. They said, you don't know. Tomorrow you come. It is worth seeing. And the man was such an idiot, and he was doing such idiotic things. It was worth seeing. The next day the man came with these friends. Now he was outside the wall, and then he found what is the matter. The other day he was inside, and these all people had enjoyed him. And this is tricky. Now he is enjoying somebody else. All the cultures around the world have prohibited in some way or other love making in public places, for the simple reason that if you want to be idiotic, then at least find some privacy. Because don't make yourself unnecessarily a public show, free of charge. A crowd will gather and they will enjoy. Nobody can pass from that place. They will all stop there. And they know they all are doing same kinds of things. But it is an unconscious state. Love at the instinctive level, which is the lowest level, is just a dream created by nature so that you can pass through this arduous job of making love. If there is no euphoria around it, you are going to refuse. That I am not going to make a fool of myself. Nature has given you a certain allurement. So at the unconscious stage where instinct functions, love is only a name. It means nothing. It simply means foreplay. Because just going to a woman and asking her, "Are you ready to come with me to the bed?" It looks so sudden and so inhuman. Woman, even if she wanted to come with you, is going to slap you instead of sleeping with you. She is going to slap you then and there. No, you have to follow a certain procedure. And that procedure you call love. And it is not that you do it deliberately to cheat the woman. No. You are being cheated as much as she is being cheated by the same biological forces. The same force is making you say beautiful things to her, what you call nice nothings, whispering into her ear. And the same force is managing from the other side also, that she believes you. Whatever you are saying, even if the woman is the ugliest that you have seen, if you say to her that you are the most beautiful woman in the world, perhaps another Cleopatra, she is going to believe it. And it is not that you are saying it in any way to cheat her, to deceive her. In that moment you are really true. One of my friends, a very rich man, who presented me almost everything, he had made it a point that nobody can present anything before him. So everything that I needed or could have needed any time, he managed to present to me. Things which I never used, I told him also that what I am going to do with this. He said, that is not the point. The point is, nobody is going to present you anything before me. Later on they can go on presenting you, and millions will be presenting you things out of love. But they will be always next to me. Nobody can be first. And I was very reluctant, because if something I was not going to use, was no use to me, unnecessarily he was wasting money, and he was so particular and so perfectionist that only the best satisfied him. If I will not take, then he will find ways somehow to smuggle the thing into my house. Once when I was living, I used to stay with him at least 3 days every year. That was a commitment. So 3 days I used to stay with him every year. When I was leaving, he said to me, which he had never said before, that just be a little careful about your suitcase. I said, I have come so many times you have come to say goodbye to me to the train, and you have never said to me, be careful about the suitcase. What is the matter? He said, nothing is the matter. And he gave me the key. I said, it's strange, but why you are keeping the key? If it was left with you, then I would have been in trouble. And it was a 36-hour journey from his place to Jabalpur. He said, no, I was not going to forget it. As the train left, the first thing I did, I opened the suitcase. What is the matter? And the suitcase was full of 100 rupee notes. My God, what he has done. And there was a slip in an envelope that this is for a new Fiat car. You immediately purchase, and you cannot say no to me. Because that will hurt me my whole life. I said, this is strange. I am continuously traveling. In Jabalpur I remain only for 5 to 7 days a month at the most, that too not at one stretch. But he will be certainly hurt And as I reached, immediately his phone was ringing. That you have to do first thing first. I have already arranged, I have contacted the Fiat company in Jabalpur, and the car is ready there. You just take the suitcase and take the delivery of the car. I said, you don't leave anything for me. The car was already standing. And the man said, we have been waiting for you. I said, what to do? The train was 2 hours late. And he must have been phoning according to the timetable. In India it is said, that's why timetable is published. So you can find how much the car is late. Otherwise, how you will find how much the train is late? The timetable is absolutely a necessity. Only once it happened that I got into a car in exact time, traveling for 30 years continuously. This was the only time the train has arrived exactly in time. It was a miracle. I went to the guard and I thanked him that this is a miracle. He said, it is not a miracle, you don't know. This is yesterday's car. We are 24 hours late. We are not in right time. I said, what can I do? The train was late, so 2 hours. He said, he was very particular, everything, radio has to be in it. And he had made sure of everything, insurance, and he had asked the owner that arrange a license for me, because the car may be just lying down at my place. He gave me the first tape recorder, the first camera, everything that he could find will be immediately he will bring it to me. This man was rare in many ways. He was a miser, so much a miser that beggars simply bypassed his house. If any beggar ever stood there, other beggars thought this seems to be a new man. Standing before Rekchand Parak's house for begging. He had never donated to any institution in his life, never given a single pie to any beggar. His wife had taken me to introduce with the husbands, because he said that he is so miserly and he has so much money. And we had only 3 daughters which are married in rich houses, so there is no problem, and there is no son, there is nobody after us. But he goes on collecting. Even I don't know how much he has. They lived in a place, Chanda, in Maharashtra. Almost 1/3 of the houses of the city he has purchased. It seems he is going to purchase the whole city. Any house for sale, and he is not going to let anybody else purchase it. And his only joy seems to be just accumulating money. I have brought many, because they were Jainas, I have brought many Jaina monks, and they were Gandhians, so I have brought many great disciples of Gandhi. Perhaps somebody will change his mind, but he is very straight and does not give any chance to anybody even to touch him. So I said, okay, I will come. I cannot guarantee, I don't know what type of man he is, but he appeals me. He had come to receive me on the station. While we were going to his house, he was driving, and I told him that one thing I should tell you, that your wife has brought me here to persuade you not to be miserly. She wants you to donate to institutions who are doing public service, to religious institutions, to schools, to hospitals. I am not interested in all of these things. I have just come to meet you because you attracted me. You are a rare man. Never in your life you have given to a beggar. Never you have donated a single pie. He said, never. Because I am waiting for the man who is worthy to be given everything. When we reached to his house, the wife was surprised, because never before he had taken any saints that she has brought to his sitting room. And he told the servants that I will be staying in his guest house, in his sitting room. I will be there, and tell my wife she need not worry about this man. And the wife was at a loss. What has happened? A sudden synchronicity. He told me not the word synchronicity, he had never heard of that. He told me strangely, the moment I saw you, I felt this is the man. And then we had known each other for 20 years. Not a single question from him. No question, no doubt, no argument. Whatever I was saying was truth to him. I asked his wife only one question. After being there for the first time 3 days, I asked his wife, "Is your husband interested in sex or not?" She said, "Not at all." And not that he represses. He is simply finished. And you can know now that he is a strange man. He has told me that if you are not finished, you are free. You can have sex with anybody you want. I am finished. At the moment a man is finished with sex, as an instinct that is forcing you to do something, he becomes in a certain way a master of oneself. And he starts having insights, visions, which the unconscious, instinctive man cannot have. Just looking at me, not even a single word has been said. He said, "I have found the person." And then whenever I needed any amount of money for myself or for somebody else, I had just to inform him that give this much money to this man. He never asked who is this man and so much money is needed for him. He simply gave it. His wife simply was shocked. She could not believe that this miserly man, how suddenly he has completely become just the opposite. I told him there is no problem. He is not miserly. It was your misunderstanding. He never wanted to give to those people who are not worthy of it. And coming from the station to the house, he said to me that I have found you. Now all that I have belongs to you. Whatsoever you want to do with it, you can do it. He is not a miserly man. It was your misunderstanding. It is difficult to find such a man, so generous. But from where his generosity was coming? His generosity was coming from a certain mastery over himself. The instinctive man clings to everything, to sex, to money, to power, to everything. I asked him why you go on purchasing all the houses. He said, someday you may like to have a commune. Then suddenly, from where I am going to give you a commune? By that time I will purchase all the whole city. I know that you will take a little time before you will need a place. I am preparing it for you. Now, nobody would have thought that he is purchasing houses. Even before knowing me, he was purchasing them for somebody who is going to come in his life, who may need one day this whole city. And many times it happened, he used to come with me once in a while for a tour. Anybody will think that he is a miser, because such a rich, super rich man, but he will always travel third class, passenger railway. Never express trains, mail trains, no. Never first class, air conditioned, out of question. But whenever he will travel with me, he will say, you can travel in the air conditioned class. I will travel in the third class. I said, why you insist in traveling in third class? He said, I have my own ideas. People think I am a miser. I don't care a bit about money. What I am going to do with the money, soon I will be dying and all this money will be lying here. But to travel in a third class is an experience. The crowd, the people, the gossips, and things that go on happening in a third class in an Indian railway train. And he has travelled all over India, and he had friends on every station. With their names he will call the coolies, and he knew every place where you get the best milk, where you get the best tea, where you get best sweets. He said, with an express train, mail train, this is not possible, because they stop only on few stations, and I want to stop on every station, because every station I have friends and I have things to do. And the passenger train stays longer on every station. If other trains are passing, then the passenger train will be delayed, no other train will be delayed. So hours you have always on your hands. And all these station masters are my friends. The guards are my friends. The drivers are my friends, because I call all of them when I know that a particular sweet is made the best on this station. So they say to me, Parakh, you enjoy. Unless you enter the train will not move. And he said, I like to be the master rather than to be the servant, that they give the whistle and you run. No. That was his reason, that I want to be the master. When I enter into the train, then whistling and flagging and everything happens. But first they have to see that the Parakh has entered. He was an old man. I was only 35. He was 50 at that time. But he will take me out of the station and he will say, you come out. The mango trees are great here. I said, the train is there, and are we going to pick up mangoes and then if we miss the train, I have my appointment? He said, you don't be worried. Until I enter the train remains on the station. You can go up and I am also coming, and we will go on the tree and pick up. One day it happened, we were picking the mangoes, and Parak said to me, just look upwards. There was another man. He said, he's the driver. He knows me that I will go. The train has to stay. Why waste time? Collect few mangoes, and these mangoes are really sweet. In fact, the guard will be on some other tree, and it is all under my control. This man had no instinctive force. He was not in any way interested in any particular food. He liked all kinds of food. He liked all kinds of clothes. In fact, he was so disinterested that anything will do. No special liking, disliking, but he was a man full of love. Once in a city in Rajasthan, Byawar, he was with me, and I had fever. The whole night he remained by my side. I told him, Parak, you go to sleep. Because of you, I cannot go to sleep. He said, that is up to you. That is your problem. I am not saying to you, don't go to sleep. I am trying to help you to go to sleep. As far as I am concerned, I cannot sleep knowing that you have fever. The fever may increase in the night and I may be asleep. That is not possible. And actually it happened in the night, the fever increased. At 2 o'clock it was 105. And he said, do you see the point? You would not have awakened me. I said, that is true. He called the doctor and he said to me that this is not time for you to leave the body. If you can make some arrangement, I am willing to leave the body and you remain in the body, because you have much to do and I have nothing to do. This is love of a totally different kind. A caring, a friendliness. The instinctive love can become any moment hate. The man who was ready to die for you can kill you. The woman who was so caring towards you, so loving towards you, can poison you. Literally, she can poison you. Love, if it is instinctive, is not in your hands. You are just a slave. And the unconscious is very easily convertible into its opposite. And you cannot do anything about it. But when love comes to conscious level, that is when it comes to the level of intellect, not intuition, not instinct, then it has a different flavor. Then it has no biological purpose. What biological purpose music can have? What biological purpose poetry can have? Or painting? Or philosophy? But Socrates is ready to die for his philosophy. There seems to be a tremendous love affair with his own system that he has created. He knows it perfectly well that his death is not going to destroy his philosophy, but if he compromises just to go on living, that may destroy his whole philosophy. The very compromise, because that was one of his teachings, never compromise. Truth is truth and untruth is untruth, and there is no possibility of any compromise. Just the other day, I received a very beautiful, nice, elegant letter from a council of priests, bishops, Christian theologians. They have a certain council in America, and they have written that they have been discussing about me now almost for 2 to 3 years, reading, discussing. I have become their center of discussion. They have invited me to come, and they will take every care. They want to exchange thoughts with me. That's where is the trouble. The whole letter is beautiful. And this too, they have not consciously writing anything rude. They are unconscious people. And exchange of thoughts is not something bad. But they don't know that you cannot exchange thoughts with me. I don't deal in that business. If you know then I will not bother. If you don't know, then how the exchange is going to be? What you are going to give me in exchange? Either you know or you do not know. There is no third position. You cannot say that a little bit I know. Because truth cannot be divided into fragments. You cannot know truth a little bit. Either you know it, the whole of it, or you don't know it, the whole of it. What exchange? Now, I may look rude to them. I am not ready for any exchange, because as far as I am concerned, I don't need anybody's ideas. It was so difficult to get rid of them. Now again exchange. It took me 21 years to get rid of other people's ideas. I am not interested. Even if God invites me for exchange of ideas, nothing doing. You can have your ideas. And I don't have any ideas to give you. I can share myself, but it is not going to be an intellectual discussion. It is going to be an intelligence communion. But for that council cannot be ready. They have already decided what is right. Who is the Messiah? They have already decided that God exists. Now what remains to be exchanged? You have your whole theology already decided by others, not by you. You have borrowed it, and now you are feeling in confusion because of my ideas. If my ideas are so much confusing, that is proof enough that you don't know what truth is. Otherwise, what is the point to discuss me for 3 years? Who am I? I have not been discussing those fellows, not even 3 days. What to say about 3 years? And they must have written great theological books. There is no possibility of exchange. But at the instinctive level, everything is an exchange. You give something, you take something. And there is every effort to take more than you give. That's the whole difficulty of all the couples around the world. The wife goes on saying that I love you, but you don't love me. The husband said, how to prove it? I love you. But nobody can convince It is not a question of convincing. But why the question arises that you love me less or I love you more? In the instinctive level, love is a quantity. You can measure it, how many kilos you give and how many kilos you get in return, in exchange. And you can see who is a loser. It is a business deal. And people are continuously quarreling and trying to manage to snatch as much from the other as possible. But when love moves to the conscious level, when it has no biological slavery, when it is free of biology, that does not mean that you cannot make love to someone. You can make love to someone, but now it will have a totally different quality. It will not be in any way a bondage, enforcement by nature. It will be out of your freedom. You can share. The right word to use will be, it will be just playfulness. Yes, you can play with somebody's body. You like the body, you enjoy the body, you enjoy the warmth of the body, you enjoy the contours of the body. You can be playful, but there is no business deal. In fact, that's why, for many more other reasons, this is also one of the reasons I am in favor of birth control methods, while all the religions are against it. You will be surprised to know what is going on in the minds of the popes, Shankaracharyas, imams, rabbis. You may not have thought it that way. Perhaps they are not even aware themselves. But I want it to be clear to you and to them. This is the fact that is going on behind religious people's minds, that if birth control methods become more prevalent, then sex will be a playfulness. Then you cannot call it sin. There is nothing involved. No sin at all. Two persons enjoying each other's warmth, there is no problem in it. They cannot condemn sex, they cannot condemn that you are in bondage, a slave. They cannot say to you that you are only a means in the hands of biology. Because birth control methods make you capable, even if you are not conscious, they make you capable of turning sex into playfulness. And that is the danger. Their whole theology will collapse, because no religious scripture had the idea that there is going to be birth control methods. They were happy with the slavery of sex because then they can condemn it, and you cannot argue because it is so clear that it is a slavery and nobody wants to be a slave. So repress it, get out of it. But the dilemma is, the more you repress it, the more you try to get out of it, the more you are caught into it. Only by playfulness there is a possibility one day suddenly to get out of it, because it is no more a serious business. One fundamental you have to remember: if you fight with something, you will have to remain on that level to fight. Otherwise, how you can continue the fight? If you are fighting sex, then you cannot move beyond your instinctive level. Impossible. Because then who will fight if you start moving upwards? Then all those wolves in your unconscious will run amok. You cannot leave that place. You have to be there constantly fighting, repressing. How transformation is possible for a man who is fighting with his own nature? It is impossible. Take it as a categorical principle. There is no exception to it. With whomsoever you fight, you will have to remain with that person, with that state, with that space. But if you are playful, then it is a totally different thing. If you are on the war front, you cannot say to the soldiers on the other side that now I am feeling tired. We will start tomorrow. Let us go home. You cannot say that. If you turn your back, that fellow is going to shoot you then and there and finish all your tiredness. On the front you cannot do that. But if you are playing with somebody, playing cards, you can say that now I am tired. Tomorrow we will start. We can start even from this point where we are stopping. There is no problem in it. It is only a play. Let your instinctive world become a playfulness. And that's the fear of all the priests of the world. They are condemning me continuously for the simple reason because I am giving you a chance to get out of the grip of your instinct, but that is also the grip of the priest. That is also the grip of the pornographer. If you get out of your instinctive level, you are free from the priest, the pope, and the pornographer. The pornographer and the priest are using the same methodology, and they are partners, whether they know it or not, in the same business. You will be surprised to know that in Aboriginal tribes, you cannot make anybody interested in a nude picture, pornographic. You cannot make anybody interested. In Bastar, I have lived and gone again and again, because in India few tribes are left which are 5,000 years old, and they have not kept pace with time. They are still. So it is good to visit history 5,000 years old. There is no other way to visit history, to go back in time. But in Bastar, it is not 20th century. You can touch a woman's breast and ask, what are these? And she will say, you don't know? These are tits for children to drink milk. She is not offended by that you touched her tits. She is simply surprised that you don't know such a simple thing. They are almost naked. They only wrap around a cloth when they come to the cities, down their hills, out of their forests. Otherwise, they are all naked. How can you make an Aboriginal of Bastar interested in a Playboy magazine or Stern? He will be simply surprised at what is this. It is like a magazine on fruits advertises tomatoes half clothed, tightly clothed. A man who grows tomatoes will be simply surprised. Are these people mad? If you are advertising tomatoes, then advertise tomatoes, but why these strange clothes tied around the tomatoes? These pornographers are using what the priest has done before. He is the head partner, perhaps the major shareholder. He represses sex. He makes people interested about sex. Out of all rationality, he drives them irrational about sex. And then comes the pornographer. And naturally, the repressed person would like at least to see the photographs. He is not allowed to see living human beings. That is a sin. At least the Bible has not said that cursed are those who will see pornography. That they will inherit the kingdom of hell. I think pornographers will be needed in heaven too, because all your monks will be dying. They may have already found a way to smuggle Playboy, Stern, and all kinds of third-rate magazines around the world. You may even be surprised if you find God looking at a Playboy magazine. Because He is the original source of this whole business. And naturally, because He has not even a girlfriend. What to say of a wife, not even a girlfriend. In the name of girlfriend, He has the Holy Ghost. Just think of yourself that Holy Ghost is your girlfriend. You would like better to live alone. You will ask Holy Ghost that you leave me alone, you go somewhere else. The priest creates the business basis, repression. Then the pornographer uses it. I am destroying their business completely. Sila informed me from New Delhi. She had taken our latest publication, this very place, the Lotus Paradise, to show to people. One minister, finance minister of India, came to see her. She showed the book. KD is with her. KD could not believe what that man was doing, because in Lotus Paradise we have few pictures of our nature institute. Naked women walking on the lake, or massaging each other, or just sitting and giving an interview. Sheila was sitting in front, so she could not see. KD was by the side, so he was amazed when he saw that that man was touching the pictures bottom of a girl. And these are the people who are in power. He is one of the person who has been creating all kinds of hindrances for our commune in Pune. It still goes on continuing. In the parliament he spoke against me. In the parliament the man says that it is good that I have left the country because this man was dangerous. He was preaching sex. And he is doing something religious. Now, this man is simply insane. But who has driven him insane? A picture is just a printed paper. There are not any buttocks or anything, but he is trying to touch the buttocks and feel them. And Kedi saw such a greasy feeling on his face that this man can rape a woman if he can find a chance. He can rape even a picture. If he can touch the buttocks in the picture, can't you imagine him raping a picture of a naked woman? He is capable. This is what the priests have done to the world. Now these people are all turned into customers for pornographers. And our pictures in that book are not even pornographic, because a naked picture by itself is not pornography. A naked child, can you call him pornographic? A naked Mahavira, can you call him pornographic? Then all the temples of Jainas in India are pornographic. But no, if you go and see Mahavira's statue standing naked, you cannot say that it is pornographic. There is no pornography at all. He is simply nude. But he is not exhibiting his nudeness. He is not trying to pollute your mind and poison you. He is not trying to attract you sexually. And in fact, facing a Mahavira's naked statue, you will never feel sexual. And he has a beautiful body, very proportionate. But it is impossible to think even of pornography. Children are there, women are there, men are there. They are all worshipping the naked Mahavira, and there is no question. Pornography needs something more. It is not just a naked body. It needs to place the body in such a situation, in such a posture, with such a clothing, that it releases your imagination. Just a naked body cannot release your imagination. In fact, it stops it. Where to go? The naked woman is standing before you. What to do? How long you can see a naked woman or a naked man? Soon you will say, shit, I am going home. What nonsense is this? But the pornographer's art is to make the woman enough naked that you feel attracted, and enough covered that your imagination is allowed you to discover what is hidden, what is covered. The real art of pornography is in the balance. It should not be too naked, otherwise you will be soon bored. It should not be too much covered, otherwise you will be soon bored. It should be in such a way covered that your imagination can start working on it So you can close your eyes and you can contemplate what is hidden. And in your contemplation, you can make it as beautiful as you want. It is your imagination. All religions are pornographic in this sense because they are the partners in the whole business. They are the major shareholders. They create the situation to be exploited. But they are afraid if you are free from the sexual instinct and other instincts which are minor. If you are free, then they are committing suicide. As you come to the level of intellect, and the only way I told you to come to the level of intellect and consciousness is not to repress, but enjoy everything that nature has given to you playfully, non-seriously. And you will be soon beyond it. You cannot go on playing with it your whole life. It is just like teddy bears. There are few people who even in later life need teddy bears. In many ways, very important people even. I have met one very famous saint, Shivananda. He had many followers in America. And around the world. And he was thought as one of the greatest living yogis. And seeing him, I was simply in a shock that this man he used to eat so much that perhaps he must be the weightiest man in the world. He was just like an elephant, not like man. His hands were so heavy, he could not raise himself. 2 persons were needed to hold his hands when he will stand up. They were so heavy, so thick. When I saw him, I said, my God, this is a yogi. But what had happened? He had repressed when he was young. His master was continuously forcing fasting. So he fasted, starved himself, When the master died and he became the successor, then naturally the first thing he should do, anybody's imagination, the first thing he did, he started eating as much as he could. All those years of his starvation have to be compensated. His body was the ugliest. He could not carry his own weight. And this man was talking about becoming fearless. Because fear keeps you worshipping wrong gods. Out of fear, you start worshipping anything. Yoga does not believe even in God. That's one of the beauties of yoga, that it is very scientific. The yogis never mention the fact that yoga does not believe in God. They simply go on the statement or camouflage it in commentaries and this and that, but the statement is clear. What I am saying, that's what yoga says. Yoga says God is a hypothesis. There is no need to believe in it. There is no need to not to believe in it. It is just a hypothesis. It can be used for certain purposes. But God is not some existent thing. It is just like, I don't want you to get out because it is so cold, and the child will not listen, and I say, wait, outside there is a ghost. Now if you want to go, you can go. Now the child will sit just my side. I will say, you go out, the ghost is waiting. Now the ghost is a hypothesis, but it has a function. Yoga says God can be used just like a hypothesis for certain purposes in practice. It is perfectly good for the child. He has been saved from the cold. I wanted Shivananda's disciples more information about Shivananda, what he eats, how much he eats, when he gets up, when he goes to sleep. In that information, I have found one information which was just hilarious. He sleeps keeping his one foot in a plastic bag full of salt. I have read all about yoga. I have never come across this exercise. They said, this is not yoga exercise. This keeps ghosts away. That is in India a belief that if you keep your one leg in salt, then ghosts can't come clear. And the man is continuously teaching fearlessness. And in the night, of course, ghosts don't listen to the sermons of the yogis. And who knows, they may be. It is better to be on the safe. I told one of his chief disciples that I would love to see it. He said, there is no problem. When he goes to sleep, I will leave the window open. You can simply open and see. So I opened the window and saw. And he was there lying on the bed with one of his feet tied inside a bag. I said, if you are not finished playfully with your unconscious, then it is going to come up in some way or other. You can teach beautiful things, but you can't have the quality of those things. As you move up playfully, exhausting the biological sources, fulfilling what biology wants you to do, it relieves you. You are freed. You become conscious, and conscious love is a totally different thing. It is just friendliness. You don't fall in love. No more fall. You rise in love. The more you love, the more you feel you are going higher in your consciousness. And the same is true about other values, authenticity, religiousness, happiness. Happiness in the instinctive place is only pleasure. Happiness on the level of intellect is joy. When you listen to great music, or you see a beautiful painting, a sudden upsurge of joy. No animal can enjoy a painting. He can eat it, but he cannot enjoy it. No animal is capable of enjoying anything that belongs to the second level of your consciousness, because no animal arises to that level. Only men, and not all men either. Few men are capable of enjoying things which have no biological purpose. What biological purpose a painting serves? Or music, or poetry. There is no biological purpose. That's why no parent wants you to become an artist. One of my uncles is a poet, but the whole family was against him. They destroyed him. They did not allow him. They withdrew him from the university because they saw that if he passes from the university, then all he is going to do is poetry. And if he has no certificates, then he has no way to escape anywhere. He has to sit on the shop. And I have seen him, when I was small, I have seen him sitting in the shop. And if there is nobody, only I am there, he knew that I never disturb into anybody's business. Just you have to be aware not to disturb into my business. Then it is a contract. And it was a contract between me and him that he should never interrupt into anything I am doing, whatsoever it is. He said, okay, but you don't report anything about me. I said, I am not concerned. What he used to do, a customer will come, he will simply show his hand as if he is a beggar, just to go. He will not speak because somebody may hear. So just he will, with his hand, give him a gesture, go on. My father, my grandfather, they were all puzzled that whenever you sit here, no customer comes ever. He said, what can I do? I sit here, but if nobody comes, it is not my fault. He was not interested in business at all. While sitting on the shop, he was writing poetry. But soon they arranged his marriage. And I went on telling him that you are getting trapped. First, why you came back from the university? Don't you have any guts? You could have done anything. Pulled a rickshaw. Be a coolie on the railway station. You could have done anything. I told him that your poetry is just lousy. They stopped sending money to you and you are back. And now they are arranging your marriage and you don't know that that is the end of your poetry. At least right now you can throw away the customers and go on writing a little bit. You will not be able to do that when your wife is here. He said, but my wife will be in the house, I will be in the shop. I said, you just wait, because I see what happens to my father. Only my mother sees him when he is there for his lunch or supper. And he simply goes on eating, his eyes down, and she goes on hammering him all kinds of things. And she screams that you don't say anything, no or yes. I know you are not hearing me. And he will say that I can do only one thing at a time. Let me first eat. But she said that once you finish, you escape. Then again at the supper time, I see you only twice. And she had problems. She was not very old, and the whole family has fallen on her head because my father's mother died after his marriage. And my grandfather was a problem because he was continuously inviting people, all kinds of people. He has so many friends. He has no other business. He has left the business to my father. He has only one business: to make friends. And the best way to make a friend is to invite him for lunch, supper, dinner, anything. And my mother was angry, and perfectly logically, that you should inform at least that how many people you are bringing, because from where I can produce food suddenly? You simply come in the kitchen with a dozen people, and I had no idea even that a dozen people are coming. So she had her problems, but my grandfather was not a man to listen to anybody. He will do whatsoever he wants. He had created a great stir. Just the other day I was telling you about Haji Baba of Pakistan, who is now nearly 110 years old. He was present in my father's marriage. He had come with the marriage party to my mother's place, and it has created a great stir in the whole Jaina community, because it is a tradition that when the bridegroom comes to the house of the bride, they have to be received on the boundary of the town, and the chief of the family has to be garlanded. A turban, very valuable turban, has to be put on his head. Beautiful shoes made of velvet have to be put under his feet. He is given a robe especially made for him. My grandfather said that Haji Baba is our chief of the family. Now a Mohammedan, chief of the family of a Jaina. My mother's father was at a loss what to do. Haji Baba was saying that don't do this, but my grandfather was never able to listen to anybody. He said, it doesn't matter. Even if we have to go back, we will go back. But you are my family's chief. I have always been like your younger brother. And how can I receive when you are here? There was no other way. My mother's father had to receive Haji Baba. As the chief of the family. I asked my mother, because in his letter he goes on writing her, how is my Bahurani? Bahurani means bride, queen, and that is used only for young brides when they are just married. Now she is 75 and he goes on asking me, how is my Bahurani? Does she remembers me at all? So I asked my mother why he writes you Bahurani. He said he is the only man who can write me Bahurani. I was only 7 years when he has come as the chief of your father's family with the procession. I was only 7 years. For him, I am still 7 years. For him, your grandfather was a brother, your father was a son, you are a grandson. So I told him that you don't know your father. He is my friend. And I know the whole trap, what is going on, the whole conspiracy. But I have also a pact with my grandfather that I will not release any rumors in the house. But this is something serious. They are going to trap you. Just they have found really a beautiful woman for you. There is no doubt about it, because my grandfather had taken me to choose. He said, I am become too old and you are so sharp. Just find out whether this girl will do or not. And he has found really a beautiful girl. So I said, he has found a beautiful girl. But the reason why he is trying to find a beautiful girl is that you forget all your poetry. And that's what happened. Once he got married, then most of his time he was with his wife, or he was in his shop, and slowly his poetry started disappearing. And his wife started dominating him, for the simple reason because she was feeling guilty. Because everybody in the house, children included, knew that your husband is just a do-nothing, useless, just a wastage. So she was nagging my uncle that you forget about all poetry. She burned his copies of poetries, his year's work, and she told them that no more poetry, because I feel ashamed, everybody laughs at me. They destroyed his poetry. I asked my father that why you all people are against my poor uncle. He is not doing any harm. Poetry is not harmful. It is not violent. He is not writing war songs or anything like that. He writes beautiful love poetries. Why you are against him? They said, we are not against him. All that we want is that he should stand on his feet. Now he is married, tomorrow he will have children. Who is going to feed them continuously? And that's what happened. Now he has a shop, now he no more moves people. his children are married, they have children. And the last time I went in 1970, I asked him, what about the customers? He said, nothing about the customers. All my poetry is gone. And you were right, that my wife will be real trouble. Neither my grandfather, nor your father, nor my other brother, nobody was such a trouble. But my wife continuously nagging. Finally, I had to decide. Either I have to become a monk, renounce the world. But that too is difficulty. A Jaina monk cannot write poetry. Because poetry belongs to ordinary people. And poetry is something basically connected with the affair of love. So what a monk can write? I said you can write sutras, religious bhajans, devoted to some god songs, devotional songs. He said, but I am not interested in any god, in any devotion. I want to write what I feel in my heart. I said, that is finished. Your heart is married. And in India, at that time, divorce was not legal either. And even though now it is legal, it rarely happens, and only happens in Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, New Delhi. Nowhere else. They destroyed his poetry to keep him tethered to the lowest part of your being. All the painters, all the poets, all the musicians have faced a world which is against them. Why? Because what they are doing is something which has no relationship with the whole world and their life. The love they are talking about is not the love that the people are living. They are talking about love which is something airy-fairy, not of the earth. They are doing some great creative work. To paint a Picasso, you need a certain quality of consciousness. To be a Leonardo da Vinci, you need something that is missing in ordinary mortals. What he has got. His whole biological grip is not there. That's why he can devote his whole energy into a new kind of creation. Not children, but paintings, poetry, songs, dances, statues. This is non-biological creation. This is conscious creation. He is the master of it. It serves no purpose as far as nature is concerned. but it certainly serves some purpose as far as human consciousness is concerned. Just watching Mahavira's statue, you may fall into a meditative state. That was their original function. They were not made to be worshipped. They were made to make you aware of a certain state. The statue is of a certain state, not of a certain man. That man is irrelevant. It happened that some photographer took a picture of Ramakrishna, and that was his first picture. The photographer was very, very happy. He brought an enlarged, framed picture to present to Ramakrishna, and he was sitting with his disciples. He took the picture in his hand, kissed the feet of the picture. The photographer could not believe. Is this man sane or insane? His own picture. And he is kissing the feet. Vivekananda, his chief disciple, was sitting by the side. He said, Paramhans Deva, what are you doing? This is your own picture. Have you seen it or not? He thought that he had not looked at the picture. Just the man has given. He must have thought it must be some god's picture. So, kiss. Ramakrishna said, is it so? Let me look. He looked. He said, yes, it is my picture, and kissed the feet again. Vivekananda said, no, this is too much. Ramakrishna says, I am not kissing my own feet. This is a picture of a state. It has nothing to do with me. Just look at the picture, he said. It is a picture of a certain state. The body is just the outer lines. But look into the eyes, look into the face. And I remember perfectly where I was when this picture was taken. I was in Samadhi. So it is a picture of Samadhi. And I say to you that only this picture should be distributed, no other picture. So that picture only hangs in people's houses who worship Ramakrishna, because that picture was worshipped by Ramakrishna himself. It is absurd logically, but just a little bit patience and you can see the point. It is a picture of a state. It is immaterial whether Ramakrishna was in that state, or Mahavira was in that state, or Buddha was in that state. It is immaterial. What matters is that consciousness. Good music, good poetry can raise your consciousness. They can create the situation for the entry into the third. Very few musicians have been there and very few poets, very few painters, very few sculptors who are capable of creating such artifacts that can give you a resonance inside you. Gurdjieff has called such art objective art. He has given it a special name. All art is not objective art. Taj Mahal is an objective art. It was made by Sufi mystics. They were the architects. They designed it. The whole structure is made in such a way that on the full moon night, exactly at 9 in the night, if you sit silently there, you will fall into a deep sleep, which is not sleep. You will be aware. You will experience what I have been calling you hypnosis. And from that, meditation is very close. And the man who guards on the Taj Mahal is traditionally a Sufi mystic. If you meditate at a certain moment, you can inquire him what else to do to change the hypnosis into meditation. And he will give you the method how hypnosis can be changed into meditation. Now, Gurdjieff has called Taj Mahal an objective art. And I agree with him because I have been to Taj Mahal hundreds of times. And I have watched it in every part of the night, dark nights, moon nights, full moon night, no moon night. And I can tell you that in each different period, it gives you a different taste, a different flavor. It is not just an ordinary building, just not a beautiful marble memorial. That was only an excuse. Hidden behind is the secret of meditation. So when your state changes, your love changes, your religion changes, you cannot remain a Christian or a Hindu or a Buddhist. In the conscious state, you have to find out your own religion. You have to choose. You cannot be born in a religion. That is sheer nonsense. Religion is not something one can be born with. It is a search. You have to find it. It is a risk. You have to go long way and to risk everything. Only then you can get it. Your religion will be different. Your authenticity will be different. An unconscious man has no authenticity. Not that it is his fault. He is many persons at the same time. How he can be authentic? He says one thing Tomorrow he is not the same person. Somebody else has come on top of the wheel. There are spokes on the wheel, exactly like that there are many personalities on the wheel, and the wheel is moving, and the wheel is you. Now, which personality has promised, the other spoke has no idea about it. It may simply say that I have never said anything to you. When you become conscious, you become conscious of this wheel. You become conscious also that these spokes are not you, and you should not allow them to speak on behalf of you. For the first time you start speaking on behalf of yourself, then there is authenticity, sincerity, honesty, truth. And these I am saying only on the second level. As you reach the third level, these things will help you to move to the third. Then things are beyond description. It is on the third level, the highest level, intuition, where Lao Tzu feels nothing can be said. Only up to the second something can be said, because intellect is still functioning. On the third you have gone beyond intellect. Now things cannot be said, but can only be sowed. That's my expression, because all these people have said nothing can be said. True, but much can be sowed. I may not be able to say something about the beauty of the moon, but I can catch hold of your hand and take you to the window, and I can raise my fingers towards the moon. I am not saying anything, but I am sowing something. On the intuitive level only, fingers sowing the moon, everything becomes inexpressible. But everything becomes visible, tangible. Yes, even love, religiousness, authenticity, truth, they all become tangible. They are no more theories, philosophies. They are realities. You can live them. You can become them. All that is needed is that you move to the third level. And that is not a great thing. It is a simple process. You live completely the first level, energy starts moving on its own towards the second, and it starts hitting the third. Soon it will make the way in the jungle. Your work consists only in the first story of your life. The second story and the third story happen. on their own account. All the scriptures describe only up to the second. The third can only be said by silence. But silence is enough expressive if you are ready to listen in silence. Then, from the master to the disciple, any moment the jump happens. That transfer of flame from the master to the disciple is what I call the very soul of my religion.